looking for a conducting baton. I called Guitar Center in Sam Ash and they didn't have any. So I took the opportunity to come to Juilliard to go to their bookstore and see if there's any conducting batons here. Got my baton. Lincoln Center Square. It's closed off for some event, so oh well. Luckily I've been here before, so it's not a huge deal. And the library here is really nice too. I've been there. I hope to come back and see the John Williams sketches that he donated a few years ago. For now, back home. Got back from Juilliard and I got my conductor baton. I had a really nice baton back in Canada, the one that I got from UBC conducting class. And I also had another baton that I used back when I was conducting Carpe Diem. Here I am with my third baton. I mean, I feel like they're wands, you know, they really have to fit your hand and, you know, be right. And here I am with my third one. I feel like I'm cheating on my other batons. It's a little short, but all the longer ones were not balanced at all. So here I am going for balance over length. So coming to New York, I couldn't bring my Hammer 88 Pro, which I recently bought. So I was pretty bummed about that. In the process of me looking for a new MIDI controller that I could buy in New York, I was looking for something that was lighter and smaller, something not as heavy because I might have to move around a little, and also something that was portable so I could take them on to gigs or anything if I ever had to do that. I think the most logical choice in that case meant getting a 61 key keyboard because they're often a lot lighter, you know, the touch you'll have to sacrifice. Living here, I can't advocate for good touch. And of course, if you watch some of my other videos, you know that I love having the faders on the left side rather than the right side. And because I love the layout, air conditioning. And because I love the layout of the Hammer 88 so much, I ended up going for the MAudio Oxygen Pro 61, which has an identical layout to the Hammer 88 Pro, just packaged within the Oxygen Pro line. So it'll have worse touch, but the same functionality. Pretty excited to unbox it. Comes with a nice handy little carrying flap. A bit of tape here, a little bit of tape on this side. I should just be able to open it. As you can see, it's very light because I'm just holding it like this. The one arm carry is totally possible, and that would not be possible on the Hammer 88 Pro because that thing weighs a ton. Actually, it's not that heavy compared to my S90ES, but still not within, you know, one arm easy carry range. It's also a little too bulky and long to do that too. Not the most comfortable unboxing position, but it'll have to do for now. Can you see it? Ta-da! Okay, I put it down for safety's sake. I am loving the weight. It's not like light, but it's not heavy either. And you wouldn't expect it to be super light because it has the full keys, not like the synth style, organ style keys. It has the full keys, which means this is semi-weighted. Ta-da! It's looking nice. And of course we have software downloading stuff and USB-B to USB-A, I guess, right? Yeah, we're still on USB-A, which is fine. Quick start guide. Basically the same as the Hammer 88 Pro, so I don't think I'll be needing it. And the software is all the same too, so don't really need it. So a few things I noticed right away about the MAudio Oxygen Pro 61 is that the weight is a lot different, obviously. It's only semi-weighted, which means it's a lot softer. There is a bit of a clickiness to it. Like, as I travel through the key, there isn't much resistance, and then suddenly it goes donk, and it hits the bottom of the key, which the Hammer had less of. There's a better feel of travel within the range of starting to press and actually hitting the bottom of the key. But another thing I'm noticing about the keys is the aftertouch is very different from the way that the hammer responds. If you look at the key, I hit the note, and then there's a significantly deeper amount that I can actually go down and press. There's the key, and then I can go farther. Now on the black keys, that doesn't really happen. It has the sensor there, kind of like the hammer, where the physical key itself isn't really going any farther, but you can see that the aftertouch is working. While on the white keys, there's a bigger amount of travel after the bottom of the key, which represents the depth of the aftertouch, which is pretty handy. It's new to me. I never use aftertouch anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but I can see that it would be a lot easier to control than your traditional, like the black keys, where you don't really have a physical feedback for how hard you're touching, other than just looking at the MIDI information. The mod wheel feels very good, and so do the sliders. The sliders feel basically the same as the Hammer 88, and so do the drum pads, I think. Yeah, so all the hardware basically feels the same as the Hammer 88. Apart from the keys, of course. I love the compactness of it though. It's a lot less deep than the Hammer 88 Pro. It's less wide and a lot lighter, easier to carry around. And it fits on the desk very nicely. It's not too high either, which means it's not so different from the computer keyboard, which is in a better position ergonomically, and the keys, because it's only about an inch or so difference. And right now I have a kitchen chair because I don't actually have an office chair yet here at Woodside. It's still in the works, which means for the kitchen chair, everything is a little too high, but once I can get my chair a little bit higher than this, I think it'll be a lot easier to work with. So it's been quite a while since I filmed that last segment. It's been almost a month now, and I've totally been procrastinating on finishing this video, but I've been using the MAudio Oxygen Pro 61 key version for over a month now, doing many different projects and assignments with my screen scoring program right now. And I can tell you that I am very pleased with it. Obviously the feel is not going to be the same as any hammer action type of keyboard, but we all knew that. Functionality wise, it's basically the exact same as my Hammer 88 Pro back at home. It's missing like a expression jack and some other ports and stuff, but I mean, I'm not using that kind of stuff for most of my day-to-day writing. All I need is the keyboard with faders on the left that I can control CCs with. And with my setup, I love having the drum pads mapped to different key switches so that I can use articulation sets. Overall, it's just been great. And of course, DAW Control has been working pretty well, although I don't use it enough to really have a good opinion on it. I'm mostly just using it as a pure MIDI controller with CC control and key switch control. I'm not doing much mixing on it. That's just never been part of my workflow, so I don't really have much experience with that. If you need to know more about that, I'm sure there are other videos out there that can describe that in further detail. But apart from that, it's a great keyboard. I love the weight of it, the portability. It's also very cheap, and for the price, it really packs a punch for the bang for the buck. I also got the MAudio SP2, I believe, sustain pedal, which works very well. Previously, I had some problems using a Yamaha pedal with the MAudio keyboards because the Yamaha pedal can do continuous control, it's half damper, all that stuff compatible, and that just didn't seem to really work well no matter how I mapped it to the MAudio. But that being said, the SP2 from MAudio itself works very well, and I have no more complaints on that. Again, this is the same with the Hammer 88, but I wish the knobs were endless rotary encoders. That would be really nice, so it could just pick off where you left off rather than you having to go and pick it up. They have that for the middle thing, so I don't know why they didn't do it for all the other ones. Maybe people at MAudio prefer that, but I don't. And as I probably mentioned before, it's a lot easier to do fast repetitions on a semi-weighted keyboard compared to a weighted keyboard, because this has nothing really stopping you. You don't have to go through the inertia of trying to move that hammer, and it seems to respond a lot quicker without you having to come all the way to the top of the key. Or maybe you do, but it's just so much lighter that it's easier to get to the top of the key. Yeah, I can see in an ideal situation it'd be nice to have a nice hammer weighted key on the side, and then maybe the semi-weighted, since it's a lot smaller and compact, just on top of the desk. And that would probably be a very nice solution that maybe I might use in the future now that I have both of the keyboards. Albeit that they're on the opposite sides of North America, but maybe one day they will unite and I'll be able to use both of them. The software is basically the same interface, but they aren't able to talk to each other, which is kind of sad. I wish I could have just brought in my preset from the Hammer 88 into my Oxygen Pro, but because they use technically two different pieces of software, even though they look identical, you aren't able to do that, which is very strange for me. I wish they just had it in one mapping software and you could just select the presets for which keyboard you're using, kind of like the way that the complete stuff works, I believe. Last I checked, it's been a while. Anyways, if you have any questions at all about the differences between the Hammer 88 Pro and the Oxygen Pro, please do leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them the best I can or lead you in the right direction. It's a really good keyboard for film composing, which is what I'm basically doing every week right now, doing assignments and side projects and yada yada yada. I tried to cover everything, but I know I definitely would have missed something, so let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please leave a like or leave a comment telling me that you did. It really helps me. I'm not making any money off of this at all right now, so it's just nice to have the support. Subscribe, notification bell, all that stuff, and I'll have more videos coming in the future. This has been D.I.D. Choi, and I'll see you in the next one. Just watched Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. It was quite amazing. Loved it. Yeah, I mean, Simu was amazing in it. It was great to see him developing from Kim's Convenience and Wong Fu stuff into a full-on Marvel superhero. Wow. And Awkwafina going from dragon to dragon. Yeah. A little bit of cliche stuff, but I was totally okay with it. It gave me warm feelings.